Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. You're watching TokYo-Yo tutorials. So the tutorial I'm going to be doing today is on the trick called Kwijibo, which looks like this. And Kwijibo looks a little confusing and it feels difficult at first, but there's a couple key points that if you can nail those down, the rest of the trick is super easy. So I'll try to break things down and slow it down. And there's a couple points that really stumped me, so I'll get into those in more detail. But anyway, here's the tutorial. Okay, so here we are with our Kwijibo tutorial. Here I'm using the YOYOFFICER YACARE, but of course you can use any yo-yo, doesn't matter. So we're going to start with the breakaway throw, and you're going to pop the yo-yo up, flip it over to the other side, pop it again into a double or nothing, into a trapeze, and that's the entirety of the trick. We're going to break it down even more now. So you're going to start with your breakaway throw, and you're going to bring your hands together similar to like an Eli hops motion, and you're going to spread your hands apart, which propels the yo-yo straight up. Bring your throw hand pointer, and you're going to push into the string coming off the yo-yo, and you want to get your finger relatively close to the yo-yo. You can see that that forces the yo-yo down onto that front string, which is exactly where you want it. Your non-throw hand here is just keeping the configuration taut. Then, similar to Buddha's Revenge, you're going to move the entire thing over to the other side from left to right if you're right-handed. I'm uncrossing and then recrossing my hands here, you can see. Then we're going to do one more hop. Similar to the first one, you're going to pull your hands apart, popping the yo-yo straight up. And you're going to land it on only the front string in a double or nothing. You can see it helps to keep your strings separated to make that final pop a little easier. It is a challenging pop. I'm going to break it down even more in just a moment. And then our final pop, you're just going to release all the strings except the one on your non-throw hand pointer, landing you in the trapeze, and that's the whole trick. Let's break it down even more. So you can see here, this is our first step of the trick again, bringing my throw hand pointer in under the yo-yo into that string that's coming off the yo-yo, and that forces the yo-yo down, giving it very little choice of where to move. And your throw hand pointer needs to go over your non-throw hand. And you can see here my non-throw hand keeping the entire configuration taut, as I mentioned. One more time here. Throw hand pointer cuts across, cuts into that string and forces the yo-yo down. Now here onto our next step. Similar to Buddha's Revenge, you're going to throw the whole thing over to the other side. And while you're doing that, you can see, giving you a little swing here to help the momentum, you're uncrossing and then you're recrossing your hands again. One more time. You want to make sure that you're keeping everything nice and stretched out here. You don't want any slack. It's going to slow your trick down. But keep your strings nice and tight. One more time here. Over to the other side, uncrossing your hands and then recrossing them again. Here we are at our final hop of the trick. Similar to before, you're going to separate your hands apart and propel the yo-yo straight up, this time landing only on the front string again. And this time you're going to use your non-throw hand pointer. You see I'm bringing it across one last time, and I'm cutting into the string there just under the yo-yo to force it down onto only that front string. And it helps to keep your strings separated out so you can land it a little more consistently. And you notice here that all the strings are nice and stretched out on my fingers. None of the strings are coming off. My fingers are staying straight. That's very important. If you let any of the strings come off of your fingers at this step, it will throw you into a very strange configuration. You'll never land it right. Someone on Reddit really helped me with this final step, so I wouldn't have landed it without their advice. So spread your hands apart to propel the yo-yo up, uncross your hands, land the yo-yo only on that front string, make sure you keep all the strings in the same place. And now for our final hop, the easiest one I think. Drop all the strings except the one that you need to land you in trapeze, which will happen pretty naturally. Once you pop it up, you're going to find, you just move your finger off to the left a little bit, making sure you keep it still straight out, let the string off of your throw hand pointer. And as long as you're accurate, you make sure you keep your fingers in plane, you're not going to have any problem landing this part of the trick. I recommend doing double or nothings, and instead of dropping the string and rolling out like you normally would, instead practicing the double or nothing a lot with this type of dismount instead, and that'll help you really get consistent, and then when you practice Kwijibo, you won't have a problem. And that's really it for Kwijibo. This can be a pretty tricky trick to learn, but once you get it down, it's extremely fun, it's very flashy, it's very fun to show to other people, and it just feels good to land. It's one of those tricks that you feel like, you're starting to get into the more advanced stuff. So practice it as much as you can, learn it well. I still need to speed mine up as well, but that's it for Kwijibo. If you have any questions, comments, let me know, and I hope this helps you guys out. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope the tutorial helped. Practice it as much as you can. This one takes a lot of work to get down consistently, but thanks for watching. Take care, have a nice day, and sayonara.